welcome everybody back to the channel. It is the most earth-breaking, ground-shaking, but never media show money-taking. The man, the myth, the legend, the most electrifying YouTuber in all of YouTube entertainment today, General Zod. And today I'm going to be talking about uh, the list, the final list for this year. I wanted to do a top 10 of my favorite shows of 2024. These are shows that I really liked, and this list is non-specific to any service in particular. This is going to be across Hulu, HBO Max, Amazon, all that stuff. There won't be any spoilers, don't worry about that. I'm just going to be giving you a brief description, and I'm actually going to be showing you my contenders for this year. So as I say the thing that's on the list, I'm going to show you actually a clip, which was provided to me by popculturepb, who should be here shortly to either mock or agree with my list. More than likely mock, or he hasn't fucking seen it. But most of these are probably shows you've heard of, shows you've seen buzz about, some you don't know, some you do know. So let's get started with my list. And I do have my list I drew up today. I have a list of ones that I went through and meticulously put in order from 10 to 1. And I also have them highlighted here. So now I could show you guys uh, the ones that I personally picked so that you can actually see it. So that is pretty much the setup. That's what we're doing here. So without further ado, let's kick off this list, this show, with my number 10 pick. And now my number 10 is interesting because I did not think any of these shows would ever make it onto my list. There is one more from this company, but Disney Plus, surprising the general. We have for my number 10, Agatha All Along. Let's check out a little clip.
What does Billy Maximoff want at the end of the road?
Power doesn't interest me. I want something else, something more.
Two harbingers of doom?
The only danger to us in this trial is Agatha Harkness.
I do not trust you.
You're so much like your mother.
Mom!
Feels like there's a story there.
Get ready for fireworks! Get ready for spectacle!
In the end, all roads lead to me.
Admit it. You prefer me
Horizontal? In a grave?
This can end right here.
So, Agatha All Along. Agatha was a surprising addition. Hey, Carmel, what's up? Good to see you. So, Agatha, why is the Witch's Road number 10 on my list in the most competitive year for shows this year? I'd say actually the shows were slightly more competitive this year, but Agatha All Along, as you can see, has a cast that's pretty stacked. We have, of course, Catherine Hahn reprising her role as Agatha. We have Aubrey Plaza playing Rio, Joe Locke playing Wanda Maximoff's son, the teen, which I didn't spoil anything. It's not a fucking mystery. The show would have you think it's a mystery, but it's not. All in all, as Krumel said, I would say Agatha All Along was a fun show. Now, this show did not win me over until about the last 4 episodes, as they say. This was a case where the first few episodes I was not very vibing with. Episode number 1 I thought was very strong. I hated episode 2, and I absolutely loathed episode 3. But something happened in the writing. I don't know if the writing team woke up. I don't know if it was one of these weird things where you have a slump, and then all of a sudden they realize, oh shit, we have a show that we're making, And yeah, the show actually picked up, and it was quite surprising, especially the twists and turns that we wind up going along as we follow along. So, what is Agatha along about? Agatha is about the villain Agatha. Now, I'm going to get to some of the negatives of that, but I will say the Penguin did it. What this show does good, but it does do a very interesting take on following a villain. As Disney does, this is more of the fun, friendly side of villainy. However, something that set this show apart for me, especially the last couple of episodes, and hopefully Disney doesn't ruin this, but people die in this show. And there is literally a point to the show that makes it that death is permanent in this world of witches. So a couple of the characters actually do not make it to the end of the show. They are perma-dead from what I heard. The cast that died here, or the cast that was here, was just the cast for the show, barring a few people that the show was about. They actually murdered people in this show, and they actually stuck their guns. Yes, Audrey Plaza too. Thank you. I want to highlight that. Aubrey Plaza is very underrated actress to me. Uh, she has done a fantastic job in movies and different television shows and stuff like that. And so this show kind of came out of nowhere for me, and it really surprised me in how good the quality of the show, especially near the end of the show, really stuck out. And so you have a kind of weird thing where if the Penguin didn't exist, this would probably be higher on my tier list or some of these other shows that I'll get to in a bit. But seeing as to we have the Penguin, you can't help but to make comparisons. And the Penguin is far superior. But this show is a nice family fun thing. I could see myself watching this on Halloween. I have watched it again just to get a feel before I did this list, and just barely making my list, but still coming in strong was the first Disney Plus show. I had no idea this was going to be a contender, so good for them. Let's get on to my number 9. And my number 9, to nobody's surprise who would be on this channel, my number 9 is a show I quite thoroughly enjoy. And my number 9 show is Arcane Season 2. I got some complaints, but let me just play a bit of the trailer for you so you can get a feel of what this show is about. Uh,
You've got a good heart. Don't ever lose it. No matter how the world tries to break you, protect the family.
God, I'll probably get copyrighted for some of this.
My sister is gone.
Try to fast forward through some of that. They have a lot of licensed music.
The arcane is waking up.
I'll show them. We will show them all.
So, Arcane Season 2, one of my favorites. What's up? PB, come and join me. So, the number 9 on my show is list is going to be Arcane Season 2. So, where do I start? Arcane is an amazing achievement in animation. It is by far the first season was one of my favorite shows on Netflix. I like this show more than Stranger Things. But there is a reason why this show is not particularly higher on this list. I wanted to put this show near my top 5. But there is an issue. And the show ends well. This is the final season for Arcane. This is the wrapping up of the epic tale of Jinx and Vi and the battle between the sisters. And what does it all mean? What is the Arcane? What is the grand plan? This ends the arcs for characters Victor, and all of the other people you have been following. Helly Steinfeld and Ella Purnell turn in quite possibly one of the best performances in voice acting. So what is my big issue with all of this praise? My issue with Arcane Season 2 is this. The ending is very, very rushed. I mean, the last episode is a giant battle that you're literally thrown into the middle of. There's no lead up, there's no follow up, and this is it. This is the final episode, and there's a lot of great moments, but with the pacing of this show, what's up, Road to Wisdom? Good to see you. Welcome to my top 10 uh, shows of 2024. My number 10 was Agatha All Along, and my number 9 is Arcane Season 2. So, what is my issues with Arcane Season 2? My issue is the animation is great, the voice acting is great, but the story feels rushed. There was at least 3, maybe 4 seasons worth of content. They claim that they had enough to finish it in the season. I think Netflix rushed them. You could feel it, especially towards the end. The final 2 episodes, and one of my favorite episodes, when where you get to see what Jinx's life would have been like was she not fucking out of her mind, and one of the most powerful episodes is placed in such a weird place that it's literally like the episode before the most pivotal episodes of this series. Also, the arc between Vector and Jace is very, very rushed. I think the ending was always going to be the same. It feels like that's the ending they wanted to go with, but once again, this is a case of TV shows feeling quite rushed into doing. Don't worry, I'll get to Dune. That's on my list. But it's one of those shows that I feel like really suffered from some exec going, this animation costs too much, you got to wrap this shit up. If you guys don't know, this season of Arcane takes $230 million. Half of it was funded by Riot, the other half was funded by Netflix. And it shows. The music is great, the voice talent is excellent, the action is frenetic, you can feel the impact of the blows. Some of the shit rivals live action movies. The issue is when you have art that costs that much, I don't think Netflix wanted to fit the bill. That's just my tinfoil hat theory, and they rushed them into finishing this season. But it is still one of my favorite shows, and the first season will always be one of my favorite animations of all time. But Arcane, sadly for me, comes in at number 8 because I just didn't feel as satisfied with some of the resolutions that I thought they could have done. So here's a show that I'm going to bring up, which is my number 7 show, and it's a show that not very many people have probably heard of, and it comes to us from the Mad Lads over at Korea. And it is based upon one of my favorite animes. If you know, you know. But this is the show that came out of nowhere. It's getting a second season. And I'll play you guys a clip from the wildly successful show when it came out. It was trending on Netflix for quite a couple of weeks.
번째입니다. 어떤 상태가? 아무 이상은 없다고 합니다. 아니.
Oh, also too, you can hear this in English. They just play the trailer in Korean. I have no clue why.
차에 다쳤다면서 무슨 소리?
몇 달 전, 전 세계 전역에 이 기생생물의 유충이 인간의 머리를 빼앗아 버립니다.
네 안에 있는 기생생물이다. 너랑 내가 합치지 않았다면 둘 다 모두 죽었을 거야.
인간은 우리에 대한 연구를 하고 우리를 쫓고 우리를 학살.
Okay, so I don't want to get claimed because if I show too much of these trailers, they tend to do that. Parasite the Grey is about a young lady who is being assaulted at the time when an event happens all around the world. These creatures drop down and they are called the parasites. And they infect a wide variety of people all around the world, and they become these creatures. And she is what's called the Gray, which is a creature that merged with her. Typically, when these things take over, they take over your mind, and you essentially become a shell, and they become you. However, because she was half injured and dying, I think her name's Kyoki, becomes a mixture of both the parasite and the human. So she retains her memories and control of her body, but the parasite can control half of her body. This is based on a manga and an anime made by Shiro Tagami called Parasite Maximus or Maximum. Now, why I have it on 7 is because probably a lot of people don't know what Parasite is. This was a great move to get a wider audience of people who don't watch anime, who like live action. So this is a live action adaptation. I put it on 7 because the end of the show, you wouldn't be as hyped as I was unless you saw the anime, and there's implications at the ending that this directly connects to that. This is by the director who made Train to Busan and Hellbound, which is another successful Netflix show. The special effects are fucking phenomenal. The acting is great. Even the dubbing is superb on this. Now, my only issues is some of the VFX is a bit wonky, and unless you're really deep into the lore, this show is not really designed specifically for new people. It gets you up to speed about what's going on in the world. It gets you into knowing what is happening, but all in all, this show is really tough for people who are new. Uh, it's just really hard to recommend, and that's why I have this as my number 7, because Korean dramas are uh, they're very cup of tea kind of thing. And I think that a lot of this wouldn't appeal to a normal American demographic.
하고
As you
있어.
can see, there's some pretty
정체가
cool
뭐지?
fights over
밖에
here.
인간과 인간과.
There's a lot of drama.
넌 우리에게
And
위협이다.
I love the battle. And like I was saying, with the CGI, some of it is wonky. And then some of it looks really good. Some of it was also practical effects.
내일 새벽 해 뜨기 시작할 때 소탕 작전 돌입합시다.
너는 동족의 적이다.
절대로 도망가지 않을 거야.
Also, I want to say too, with the movements and things like that, a lot of this is actually modeled after martial arts and some of those kinds of maneuvers. This has been a really interesting show. And also, there's a lot of up and coming stars you probably wouldn't know unless you watch Korean dramas. But yeah, this was surprisingly good, and I saw this towards the end of the year. So, Parasite is definitely a surprise, and definitely it's on Netflix. You can watch it dubbed. I would highly suggest giving this one a shot and keeping up with that very same tradition of those crazy Korean dramas that nobody knows about. The second drama that I found is a show called Hierarchy. So before I play this clip, this show reminds me a lot of if you took the American version of Gossip Girl and added a bit of a mystery twist. So Hierarchy is actually based on a actual event in Korea with a lot of predominantly rich schools treating people like shit. The gist of it is that there is a new exchange student, and he is there to shake up the hierarchy of the school. There's a bunch of rich assholes who run it, and there's a rich girl who left and has come back because of a mysterious secret. And this show is just fun. Kind of reminds me of the days when I used to watch those trashy television shows. You guys know what I'm talking about: Gossip Girls, Pretty Little Liars, things like that. This is just good, trashy fun that America isn't doing anymore. They don't make fun shows like this anymore. That craze of all those dramas and the teen dramedies, it kind of died out. That Dawson's Creeks and all of this stuff, and I really miss that. And this K-pop drama Hierarchy has delivered on that little thing I've been missing in my life, my little Korean drama. So let's watch a clip of Hierarchy. I think it's in Korean, but once again, you can watch this dubbed. The dub is not actually that bad.
죽였거든. 제가 죽였다고.
반드시 밝힐 거야. 내가.
And so that is the kid, his brother. So his brother is killed. That kicks off the beginning of the episode. And he infiltrates this school of elitist assholes in a bid to find out why his brother died.
인간이 겁을 상실하는 데는 항상 그만한 이유가 있거든. 지긋지긋한 재학생.
I hate when they play this music because
헤어지자.
it tends to get quite much.
남들이 알아.
So Hierarchy is the Korean-based drama, and it is very much, and like, look, this is on my number 6 because obviously, once again, this is another show that is an acquired taste. You're either really going to be into this show or you're not going to be into it. And it's one of those shows, I really think the Korean drama scene is kind of exploding. They're making really good shows. This show sucked me in. Now, look, I'm a drama whore. Like I said, I love Gossip Girls. I love Pretty Little Liars and Twisted Lies and the shit that came on uh, when they were doing that run, you know. I forgot the network that had Pretty Little Liars. I think it was ABC or something. They had all of these teen dramas, the Fosters and all that. This is very much an amped up sex, drugs, violence kind of a thing, but in high school. And these teens got some fucking crazy ass secrets. I don't want to give it away in case you're interested, but check this out. It's a fun time. If you're into drama and if you're into soap operas, then this would definitely be something to look out for. The reason why it's not higher, because like I said, like Parasite, these two are very niche shows that I think only appeal to a certain people. So I would just go in knowing what this show is. So, what's my number 5? We're getting to the top 5, the cream of the cream. And of course, my number 5 would have to be a show. If you've been on my channel, you know I'm a huge fan of. And once again, Netflix has had some bangers this year. But right behind Netflix has been a streamer that has kind of come out of nowhere, and a good portion of my list is a majority of this streamer's content. So, of course, my number 5, I couldn't find the poster for 2 because it's been a while, but Reacher Season 2. Of course, this was going to make my top 5. Reacher Season 2. Now, I heard a lot of people complaining. Some people like it, some people don't. For me, Reacher has always been like one of my favorite shows to watch. These are clips for season 3. But just the way that what's his face? Let me see. Alan Rickson plays Reacher. is just phenomenal. And I know a lot of people like Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise is super fucking short, so I'm just gonna say it. I think that Alan Rickson was the perfect catch for a Reacher show. In Reacher season 2, he is being hunted down. His unit. This is the first time we see Reacher kind of on the back foot, so to speak. So, see if I could find some clips here. I don't know. Let me see. I'm trying to find. Here we go. I'll kind of play
Welcome
these in the
back, T.
background. No, oh my God, I did not know IMDb has previews. I'm not gonna play it with sound because I don't want to get myself fooled. But uh, Reacher season 2 was a great show. I really enjoyed the high octane action. I think Reacher is one of those shows that either you really like it or you really don't. I heard people complain about this season. I thought it was okay. Uh, but all in all, I think it's a fun little ride. I think it's been a great show since the first season. The first season put it on the map. But I thought season 2 was a good follow up. I particularly loved the episode, the beginning of episode 1 in season 2, where he beats the shit out of the dude stealing the lady's car. The stakes felt more personal. My one complaint of why this isn't further up on my list is because I don't think that I liked Reacher felt a lot sidelined in this season. We had a bunch of other new characters, and I like the new cast, but I'm there to watch Reacher. So I kind of felt like he was a bit sidelined in his own show until about the ending. The last couple of episodes, you really see him kicking ass. He does his Reacher thing. He breaks out handcuffs, fucks people up. I do like that they had um, what was his name? Patrick something from the Terminator 2. He played the villain of the season. Fucking great. Dude ate the scenery up and was a great foil for Reacher. Obviously, he's not as big and as imposing, but it was the first time we saw Reacher actually on the back foot. His team got captured. And I thought episode 8 was really solid. A lot of great fights, a lot of cool stunt choreography, and a good bit of stunt work. But all in all, I really enjoyed it, and that's why on my number 5 I have Reacher. Now, my number 4 is another Amazon banger. Amazon once again coming through with the heavy hitters. So of course, my number 4 for Amazon is going to be, where is it? Did I not? Here we go. My number 4 for Amazon is going to be Fallout. This show came from out of nowhere. Fallout was the most surprising show of 2020 for, I think, for me and a lot of people. We didn't expect it to be as good as it was. The interesting thing about Fallout is that not only was Ellen Purnell, who was also in Arcane season 2, and she's going to be in another show that's at my top of my list. So she was having a fuck of a year in 2024. But you had Walton Goggins and other great cast in this. And really, Fallout for me was what I've wanted the video games to be for years. This show is a pure, just unadulterated, fun video game adaptation that knows what it is. This show gave a better story than half of the Fallout games in the Bethesda lineup. And I have mixed ideas about Bethesda, but Jonathan Nolan directing this, who was one of the directors of Westworld, he really brings a sense of scope and scale to this. And Ellen Purnell as the young, plucky vault dweller who comes out and is kind of naive and doesn't know how the world works, and uh, the deeper she gets into this wasteland and the more shitty she sees people are, and she's still plucky and tries to have optimism. There's something very charming, especially Ellen Purnell really brings life to this character, and she's just so lovable. And you really don't want her to ever lose that optimism, despite the harsh conditions the wasteland throws at her. Walton Goggins, this dude has been amazing for years. I've said it for years. Anything Walton Goggins is in, I automatically see. Uh, Walton Goggins as the mutant is fucking great fun. He brings a charm and charisma, and I think that's the biggest thing that people like about the show. It's got charm. It's got charisma. What's up, Lemon Pie? I'm giving my top 10 shows, and I got little visuals for people to see. So my number 10 was Agatha. My number 9 was Arcane Season 2. My number 8 was Dune Prophecy. My number 7 was Parasite. My number 6 is Hierarchy. My number 5 is Reacher Season 2. And my number 4 that I'm currently talking about is Fallout Season 1. So, but yeah, like I was saying, this show's got a lot of pluck. It's got a lot of heart. And Ellen Purnell has become an actress that I will look for in future projects. I think she brings a certain charm and charisma to the show that you just can't. You want to bottle it up. It's just so infectious, her enthusiasm. Even at the ending, when she figures out the stuff that's going on, you get her backstory. Even when there's a bit of a turn, her character always has this vulnerability and this kind of hope to her, and she's just fun in a dark, twisted, gloomy kind of world. She brings a lot of spunk and a lot of lightheartedness to what would otherwise be a super bleak show. So my number 4 is of course Fallout. Surprised the shit out of me, but my number 3 is even more surprising. And once again, we're gonna go to Amazon, who's got quite a few bangers this year. But it was a show I knew nothing about. I watched this, was bitchy, and this is an intriguing show. This show is called Sweet Pea. So I'm going to play a clip so you guys kind of get an idea of what the show is about. And it is hosted by Star.
Sometimes I make a list of people who make me feel invisible.
I mean,
Donna in the mini market, who is never happy to help.
How big is it?
Norman from work for failing to acknowledge my potential.
Julia Blenkinsop,
The bully who ruined my life.
sometimes I make a list of people I'd love to kill.
It's a,
Don't push me!
So, Sweet Pea. Let me explain to you what Sweet Pea is about. Sweet Pea is the thing Dexter would hunt. So this show is played once again by Ellen Purnell, who I didn't have any idea was British as shit. This is a British drama comedy based on a book that's apparently very popular called Sweet Pea. It is about a young lady who is having the worst day of her life. She has her father die. This bully who bullied the shit out of her becomes a famous real estate agent and is taking her house. And that night, her dog gets run over. So, in a desperate bid to go to this club and confront her bully, she gets roundly mocked. And after this guy mocks her again, she impulsively stabs the shit out of him and leaves. And she gets away with it. And through the course of this show, she becomes more confident and empowered as she starts taking out people she considers mean or bullies. And the show has this very weird British sense of humor, but it's kind of like if Dexter didn't have a code and he just killed people. That's very much what this show reminds me of. But it's a quirky, fun version of that, where Dexter can get very dark and very bleak. This show is very self aware about how absurd the concept is. And so this show, once again, very much runs on charm that Ellen Purnell has in spades. So this is one of those shows that surprised me. I did not know anything about it. I put it on and I was engrossed and watched this whole entire series. It says it's a limited run. I really hope they get a season 2 because of the way that it ends, but it's only like 6 or 7 episodes. But British television is longer than ours, so each episode is about an hour or a little bit more. And yeah, man, this is just a really fun show. I was crazy surprised about how good this show was. And I didn't even think this would make it into my top 3. But honestly, this show is just super, super good. I love it. So, you know, definitely one of my favorite shows so far. And yeah, it made my top 3. So, my top 2, the 2 best shows of the year for me. What will they be? I have no idea. So let me get to the next show on this list. Sorry, got distracted. So next on my list, in the top echelon, this show surprised me. It was emotional, it was impactful, and surprisingly enough, not only does this Disney Plus, but it was by the original creative team. This is pure nostalgia. And surprisingly, they didn't fuck this up. Ladies and gentlemen, my number 2 show, of course, is X-Men 97. And if you haven't seen this fantastic show, definitely check it out. But let's see a clip. Even the animation is so beautiful.
You were my first students.
Man,
My
I got
family.
the feels.
I wanted
Got the
you to be
feel.
free. Help build a world where mutants could live however they wish, safe and
Man,
without
even
fear.
that animation is so clean.
My X-Men.
Man, when that hit, I was like, bro, what a way for Marvel
We have to be
animation
strong.
to come out swinging.
For the team. For
And,
every mutant still out there,
dude, pick it up
they
directly
need hope.
where the last one left off.
Let us do what we do. Believe in each other.
Right. Oh my god, that is so epic. Is this the moment? This is my favorite. Oh yeah, there was a little nod from Captain America. And dude, the animation for such a
Charles Xavier entrusted me with his dream. Everything he built. Everything he fought for.
Oh man.
Now belongs to me. My X-Men.
Ah man. That's a banger right there. That's a banger. So, X-Men 97. Biggest shock here. Biggest shock. I was super, super surprised just by the quality of the show, the animation, the storylines. And, folks, yes, Disney did something amazing and crazy. Disney made this show actually more adult than it was when it appeared in 97. If people don't remember X-Men 97, I grew up with it. It was ahead of its time as far as the themes and the shit it was exploring with hatred and prejudice and uh, understanding people's differences and things like that. But X-Men 97 really hit the feels. Now, I'm not going to give away major spoilers, but uh, yeah, X-Men die in, in this show. And I don't mean they're like kind of dead or whatever. Yeah, the the show actually had the gall, the hubris, the cojones to actually off a very key X-Men, and it's one of, if not the saddest, like half hour of television I've ever seen in my life. I found myself in tears for an animated property. This right here is the crowning achievement of Disney Plus in my mind. This is where Disney should be heading with their shows. This was a real treat. Now, I'm not going to say every episode was a banger. There was one or two of them I did not care for. I do not like the new character that they try to force into this. I know he's not a new character. I know all of the X-Men. I know that Sunspot has been a character for the X-Men for years, but I found him obnoxious. Him and Jubilee's storyline was pointless kitty teen drama bullshit. But for the most part, this is at my number 2 because the animation is fantastic without losing the quality of the original 97, and the fucking acting in this is outstanding. Now, the voice work is kind of rough in the beginning, but I think the voice actors really settle in to the role. Dude who plays Magneto, fucking uh, all star, top notch, grade A, great acting. And just the stories for this season, they were incredibly dark and incredibly, oh man, just bangers, just bangers. So, um, the Rogue and Gambit storyline is one of the best that has been constructed. Uh, this show was an absolute banger, and I'll be honest with you. If this next show didn't come out, if my number one never happened, this show would probably be my number one for this year. Because X-Men 97 has everything you want in it. It's got great animation, it's got good storylines, it's got compelling drama, it's got adult themes, it's got great pacing. Sadly, this animated show beat out a lot of things this year for me. But now it's time, folks. It's time. Now, before I tell you guys my number one, you guys should already know. If you've been following this channel, if you've been following my coverage, at the end of the year I was hyped up about something, but I didn't want to get my hopes up. But I had been talking about the show nonstop, and then the show dropped. And I got to see a pre-screening of the first 3 episodes, and I told everybody, and I said, hey, when this show drops, this show is gonna pop off. It's gonna be a banger. People are gonna be talking about this show for months, for weeks, months, years. This show is what television is all about. And I'm so proud in 2024 that I have an absolute banger. And the show for me, that is my number one, and you guys should have seen it coming if you guys know my channel. The show that is number one, the undisputed champion, the crowning achievement of television, the greatest thing since sliced bread to come out. This show came out swinging towards the end of the year, and it made me amped up and excited for what's to come in Matt Reeves' Batverse. Yes, folks, I am talking about, of course, if you had any doubts, there was only going to ever be one goated top dog show of the year. This show is one of my favorites. Let's roll the clip of number one. Of course, The Penguin, brought to us by the Mad Lads at HBO Max, really pulling out a win. And they had two on my list because I had Dune Prophecy, but this still, nobody can dethrone one of my favorite shows to come out in the past 10 years. Let's.
So who's got the power in this city? The Falcones? The Maronis? That's what the streets are asking. Why the hell not us?
Why not?
Some measly
Why
driver spun a bullshit story about me. He betrayed me, the daughter of the Falcone Don.
What did they do to you?
I got a lot of heat on me.
We had a deal.
Got
We
a
look
lot
out
of
for
heat.
each other. We don't fuck each other over.
After everything I've done for you!
What kind of man can't take care of his own mother?
Should never look at me again. Unless I get this done. Got a promise to keep.
You maybe got a problem.
I know you want to get in the fight, kid, but I ain't got no one else I can trust.
I got nobody. I got
I
nobody
want
I can
us to
trust.
feel pain. I need him to suffer for what he's done.
Don't fucking touch her!
My father's legacy is dead.
If you join me, you will have a new family.
Ever
That's
since
a
I
lie.
knew you,
That's a
you had
lie.
Ryan the
She
power.
lies. She lies
That's your
about
chance.
that. We gotta get power.
Keys to the fucking kingdom are here, Sophia.
We kill us,
Greatest battle ever.
and then we take over the city.
Let's go! We're taking back Gotham!
Fucking A. What can I say? Of course you knew this was going to be number one. You had to have known. If you come to my channel anytime, I will tell you right now. I'm going to tell you right now. The Penguin is the shit. This is the kind of show where I go, hey, what are you doing? What are you doing, guys? Come on. This show is a fucking masterpiece. This has got to be, and I don't know how many years of having my channel. Honest to God, legitimately, from the bottom of my heart, this show is a 10 out of 10 show. If there was a higher metric for me to rate shows on, this would be a fucking 20 or a 19. This show is like what The Sopranos was to me all those years ago. So let me give you guys some background if you don't know why this is my number one show. So when I was younger, I fell upon a little show called The Sopranos, and it changed my life. I had the soundtrack. I have that song, "Woke Up This Morning, Brought Yourself a Gun." That is my fucking favorite song of all time. I looked up the artist. I got their CD. I was a Sopranos whore. And then I watched Boardwalk Empire. And then something happened. The mob genre or mob television show genre sadly died, and we have not gotten any good content with great acting in the world of mobsters and just shitty people. And then along came Penguin and changed the fucking game. And Penguin is not only a superhero show, but it is a show designed specifically for people who aren't interested in superhero properties. I have recommended this show to a ton of people, and all of them have liked it and had no fucking idea whatsoever until the ending that this was connected to the Batman. This is a show that literally anybody can watch. This show transcends the genre and the thing that it is attached to. The Penguin works great if you know the events of the Batman. The Penguin enhances that movie, The Batman. But if you've never seen the Batman at all and you have no interest in superhero content at all, This show is just a great crime drama with amazing acting and stellar performances, and probably the best performance Colin Farrell has given in his career. And that's not hyperbole. I fucking mean it. This is probably the best performance that Colin Farrell has ever done. He virtually disappears. He does not sound like himself. He does not look like himself. He is the Penguin. There is a certain thing when you watch television where you say that this person embodies this role. Colin Farrell is the fucking Penguin. There could never now be another Penguin that will come along that I will not directly compare to Colin Farrell's performance. This is brilliant script writing. This is brilliant acting, directing, lights, sound, cinematography, fucking wardrobe. Everything about this show is just perfect. From the beginning, literally to the ending, I wish I could say, like, maybe if I was nitpicking, there's a couple of little flaws in this show. This show started out with a small viewing base, and as it got hyped and people started talking about it, it got larger and larger and larger until its season final surpassed 90% of what was on television shows currently. Now, I want to really highlight some people. First of all, Lauren LaFranc, who is the creator of this show. She had a very clear and specific vision for this show. Lauren LaFranc, as a director and a writer, she fucking knocked this out of the park. Colin Farrell, what the fuck can I say about this guy's performance that has not been said? Look at him. Look at this poster. Look, does that look like Colin Farrell at all? Does that look like him? No. If you did not look at this list, you would have no idea that that man was Colin Farrell. He is Irish as shit, and yet he sounds like maybe New York, New Jersey type of accent, and disappears into this role. Christina Milioti steals the show in every scene that she is in. You can feel the pain, the devastation, the raw, visceral anger that she portrays in this show. Fucking uh, Renzi Feliz as Victor. My boy Victor. Dude, Victor has got to be one of the best one-off characters ever created in a show. He is literally the he's the vision we get into this world of the corrupt, seedy, disgusting underbelly of Gotham. And Renzi Feliz has a vulnerability to his character that instantly makes everybody love him. And I'll tell you what, the last episode of this show, so many people were pissed off, and it was because Renzi Feliz is such a great actor that in only 2 or 3 episodes, you are pulling for this young man to finally wake up and see the bullshit that he is being told. I mean, you have Clancy Brown, who just does a fucking phenomenal job. Who else? I'm forgetting a couple of people. We have Clancy Brown, who does a great job. We got Theo Rossi, who it kind of pulls in a weird performance. Michael Kelly, who plays Johnny Vitti. Michael Kelly just steals scenes, even though he's in only 5 out of 8 episodes. He really just commands the screen. Deidre O'Connell, who gives an excellent performance as Oz's mom and is a standout. You got Sora. I'm sorry, I'm not going to even try to attempt that name. I've seen her in other shows, though, as Nita Maroney. Absolutely fucking fantastic. I mean, I don't think, honestly, there's a bad cast member in this whole entire show. There's not one person who acts terribly. You even have a guest appearance. Where the fuck is he? I don't think he's on this list, but you have one episode that has somebody different playing Carmine Falcone in this. And it's just brilliant acting all the way through. This is literally what television is all about. This is my number one for a reason. The Penguin is one of the best shows to come out in the top in the 10 years that I've been watching television, and I will fucking die on that hill. Now, I've seen a ton of shows go. I witnessed the end of Breaking Bad. I witnessed the end of Better Call Saul. Phenomenal shows, by the way. Go check them out if you haven't. Barry, tons of great shows to come out. But I can honestly say, in all honesty, I have never in my life watched a show that has so gripped me from the opening right until the end. And I actually got quite a few people to watch this show. And if you haven't watched this show is so worth it. Like, what are you doing? Go watch this. Go watch The Penguin. The Penguin is one of, if not the best shows of 2024. There's not even a question. There's not even a discussion. This show is the shit. It is one of my favorite shows of this year with The Penguin. Now, I just realized I skipped over my number 8, so I'm going to do my number 8 really quick. So my number 8, if you guys don't know, is going to be a television show. I didn't do a review on this, unfortunately. It came around too late, but the show is called Dune Prophecies. So Dune Prophecy stars Emily Watson, Olivia Williams, Chloe Lee. It also has one of my boys from Vikings, if you guys have ever seen that show, Travis Fimmel. So Dune Prophecy. Dune Prophecy is an interesting one for me. It's my number 8 because of several different reasons. But Dune Prophecy, it takes a bit to get going, and this is my issue and why I had this show at my number 8. Dune Prophecy is a stunning masterpiece. It's very well shot and pretty well acted. The issue that I have is that the story doesn't really pick up until the end of the show. Now, I want to give a couple of shout outs. Oh, Mark Strong, who was also in my top show, The Penguin. He plays Carmine in The Penguin, but Mark Strong is in this. Uh, you got a lot of good actors in here, but Prophecy focuses around the witches version of the Dune universe. Dune Prophecy focuses on the Bene Jesuits. And if you guys don't know, the Bene Jesuits in the Dune universe are a clan of basically space witches who they. God, it's so hard to get into the myth. So they basically have power within the kingdoms by picking mates for their sisters so they control certain sections of the kingdoms. And Travis Fimel's character, he plays a character called Desmond, and he is out to destroy the Bene Gesserit's order. And so this takes place, I think, 300 or 400 years before the birth of Paul Atreides. If you know, Paul Atreides is the lead character for Dune, the movies that are out, part 1 and part 2. So this is the story of how Paul was born and the prophecy behind Paul Atreides, the threat that is in the background. So in the world of Dune, if you don't know, mankind has reverted back to kind of its primal days because it was destroyed by AI. So a lot of the factions and things of Dune, or in the Dune universe, while they have technology, they try not to depend on the technology, which is why they fight Arrakis for spice. It's a whole thing. The problem with Prophecy, and the problem I had with Dune Prophecy overall, it's very fucking difficult, even knowing the lore, to get into this show. This show is extremely dry in the beginning. The first 2, 3 episodes of this show were really tough for me to get through. And much like the show Agatha, it gets good towards the end of the show. The problem that I have with a show like this, and I think a problem in general, is I don't know if this show has the capability to hook people to come back and watch this show if they drop off in the middle of the show. Now, let me talk about why this show made my list. This show, towards the end of this show, and I mean the last 2 episodes, is where this show really picks up. And it's both a good and bad thing. So, when you have a television show that is 6, 7, 8 episodes, when you have the best stuff happen at the ending, you've already lost some of your audience in those first few episodes. Like, you only get one time to really make a good impression. And I think a lot of people liked the first episode, but the second episode was fucking terrible. And then the third episode was, but then the fourth, fifth, and sixth episodes kind of really kicked it up a notch. And I think people kind of dropped off before they got to the cool shit that happens in episode 6. Episode 6 has some of the best scenes, I think, in the Dune universe. There's literally a scene where the head of the Bene Gesserits fights all of these people, and they have this ability called the Voice. And if you guys don't know what the Voice is, the Bene Gesserits are kind of like Jedi. They can influence people to do things for them. So she's like this really old lady, but super powerful. And so she was like, stab him. And the dude went and stabbed his friend, and she grabbed the knife and like slitting these people's throats, like walking through this line of people. And that's the cool shit I think people wanted to see in this Dune show. The problem is all the best shit in this show happens towards the last 3 episodes. And I really think if they have a season 2, which was announced, they really need to have better action in the middle of the story, because the first 3 episodes of the story were really fucking rough to get through. And that's why this is my number 8. I have a hard time recommending this unless you're a fan of Dune. Like, if you like the Dune movies and you're big into the lore and all that shit, there's a couple of nods in here from the books, and they mention a few factions and things like that that I think people who are really fanatical about the movies and really love it, they'll really dig into it. Plus, the showrunner, who they're showing right now, Elise Sheffield, I don't like the stuff that she's done. Um, Let me just pull up her thing for a second. She has done work on Lost, Alias, Almost Human. I hate Lost. I'm alright with Alias. Almost Human was there, and then she's done Doom Prophecy. So, um, her credits are okay. The main showrunner, Dana Adim John. Let me just look her up for a second. If this thing will fucking let me. Okay, so here we go. Yeah, she has Empire, which the first season was okay. The Originals was the shit. That was one of my favorite shows. She did all the episodes. Okay, that's pretty good. Haunting of Bly Manor was alright, not particularly my favorite. And Medium, which I liked some of the shows of Medium. So really, it's a very interesting group of writers that they got for this show. I don't think the show is necessarily bad. I was just fairly disappointed with the first couple of episodes in this show. I think that Dune's potential and the potential for its greatness is a little bit eh. All right, sorry about that. In between two conversations. So, anyways, going back over my list, anyone who just joined, here are my top 10 list for 2024. These are my top 10 favorite shows. So, starting with number 10, Agatha All Along. Number 9, Arcane Season 2. Number 8, Dune Prophecy. Number 7, Parasite the Grey. Number 6, Hierarchy. No, now my top 5. These are my 5 favorite shows of 2024. We have Reacher Season 2. Loved it. Fallout. And at number 3, Sweet Pea. Number 2, X-Men 97. And of course, my number 1, the top dog, the best of the best. And holy fucking shit, dude, I'm just about done with this whole fucking list. Now I gotta go back through it again?
Sure.
Okay, holy fucking shit. So, you guys, if you're an hour into this, you heard, but now we have PB. So now I'm just gonna show him really quick and get some quick takes on what he thinks of my favorite shows. So, my number 9, and I want to get your reactions. I want to see how PB feels about some of these picks. So, bam, I'm just gonna show it to you. Number 9, and boom. Agatha All Along. I was saying this came out of nowhere for me. Was not expecting to like Traveling the Witch's Road, but like it. I did. What'd you think? Did you get a chance to see Agatha?
What did you say?
Oh, okay. Agatha All Along. What did you think
That
about
was
it?
number 9?
That's number 10.
Oh, I thought you said you were starting with number 9.
My number 10 pick. Agatha.
Number 10,
All
I didn't watch Agatha yet.
Oh my god. So started off right away. So Agatha All
But the
Along.
fact that you put something Marvel in the top 10 gives me hope.
Yeah, you know how I feel about it. So Agatha All Along. And as I did, I'll play a little clip for you.
Will Agatha Harkness finally meet her end?
Agatha All Along. First 5 episodes now streaming only on.
So yeah, I gotta say, my issue with Agatha and why I said it's not higher on this list. Obviously, I'm pretty sure you already knew what my number 1 is, but it does what my number 1 did,
Yeah, I know
but
that.
not as good. You'll understand when you watch it. I get what they were going for. The other positive I gave Agatha was the fact that people actually die in this show. How long has it been when we've watched a Marvel show where death means, like, literally death is a subject in this show? And they're like, hey guys, just to let you know, people who die in this show, they're fucking dead. They're actually dead. So you start off with 5 characters and you end up with only 2. And I will leave it at that. But everybody can fucking figure out who the 2 that are gonna live. But anyway, so that's my number 10. Now, my number 9, and I know you'll probably know what this is. I'm fairly sure you haven't seen it, but
Okay.
but my number. So
I
my
saw most of season 1.
You've got a good heart. Don't ever lose it. No matter how the world tries to break you, protect the family.
I just am a little sketchy about playing it all the way through because the music is gone.
Oh, good. You don't have to. You played it for everybody. Don't play it again. Just tell me the shows.
So, Arcane Season 2. Now, why I unfortunately have this a little bit lower on my list, and I explain this, is just because the ending feels very rushed. Most people don't know this, but it takes $230 million to make the show, and that's only like 6 episodes. So, it's one of the most expensive Netflix shows ever. And so I think that they rushed the ending because you'll see when you get to the final battle at the end of the show, they don't show you the beginning. You literally are in the battle as it's happening. That's how the episode opens. And it pissed me off. And don't get me wrong, the final battle, fucking phenomenal. I got the tears. I'm not going to mention anything, but it's the final season, so a lot of fucking characters die. And my issue is I can feel how rushed the season was. And they claim they had enough time, but I feel like there was a Netflix exec who was like, "All right, you guys got to speed this shit up. We're footing the bill for this, and we ain't fucking paying for season 3." So it's so low on my list just because the ending is just like they pressed fast forward, and once you get to like episode 3, I literally felt like I skipped an episode because I'm like, wait, why is this character over here? When did this person die? What has happened? And it hurts my heart because this could have easily made it in my top 5, but unfortunately the pacing was bad. It was rough. And so that's my number 9. Now, my number 8. Once again, I'm sure you've heard of this, but I don't know if
Throw
it's
it out.
even on your watch list. My number 8 is, of course, not the 5-star rating, Dune Prophecy.
Nope, didn't watch that one yet. Don't
Okay,
explain
so
it to me because I don't want you to ruin anything. You already explained it to everybody else. I'm kind of glad that I missed this.
Dune Prophecy. My one big thing I can say to you: don't give up after the first 3 episodes of 6. You're going to want to. And this is my issue I said with Dune Prophecy. It's a great show, but if you don't know shit about the books or the lore, it is fucking boring for the first like 3 episodes. There's exciting shit that happens, but you really gotta wait till the last 3 episodes to get to the good shit. And what pisses me off more is HBO Max did that greedy shit where they said this was a limited series. So they had everyone believing this was it. You get these episodes, that's it. And they go, just joking. We really have a season 2. And they split the episodes and fucking didn't tell anybody. So when you get to the ending, it feels kind of incomplete and you're like, what the fuck? It's because that's like the middle of the story. They ripped off half the episodes and saved it for fucking season 2. Bunch of greedy cocksuckers. And that's why it's number 8 on my list. Pissed me off. So, my number 7. I know you've never even heard of this. This is based off an anime, and it's kind of the prequel to the anime. And it is called Parasite the Grey. Don't worry, even though it's Korean, you can watch it in good old fashion.
몇 달 전
I don't know why they do these
전
trailers
세계
in Korean.
전역에 이 기생생물의
Like they should
유충이
just do an American dub so people don't get turned
인간의
off.
머리를 빼앗아 버립니다.
I guess it's right up my alley. Okay, don't show me no more.
Okay, so Parasite's Grey, bunch of aliens from outer space come, wacky shenanigans happens. This show is also better if you watch the anime Parasite Maximum, because there's a character and they geeked me out as a nerd because they introduce a very pivotal character from the anime at the end as like a post-credit scene in the fucking show. And the reason why this isn't higher, because I feel like unless you're a fan of the anime, you won't nerd out like I did, because his name is Soichi. He's in the original, but if you have no idea who he is, he's just this random dude that shakes your hand and goes, "Hey, I'm with such and such service. We could use your help." And you're like, "Ah! There's so much implication. The worlds are connected," because the creator of this said, "No, we're not connecting it to the anime. It's going to have nothing to do with it." And the son of a bitch lied, and he was like, "Ha!" He pulled the Russo brothers. You know you can't listen to them. Well, he did that to me, and I fell for it. Fucking hook, line, and sinker. Okay, so number 7 was Parasite. Now number 6. Number 6 is one that's kind of a guilty pleasure. I like Gossip Girl and Pretty Little Liars. And so we have the Korean drama. This is called Hierarchy. I'll play a little clip for you.
죽였거든. 내가 죽였다고.
This is like our American drama, but on steroids.
내가. 인간이 겁을 상실하는 데는 항상 그만한 이유가 있거든. 지긋지긋한 재학생들.
쟤 댕댕이 아니야? 진짜 깡패잖아. 야 진짜 왔어? 헤어지자. 김리야.
So, that is the Korean drama Hierarchy. It's like, I don't know, if you're into those drama series, that kind of a thing.
50-50. I know that you're waiting, Tanya. Don't leave without me. I was talking to a whole bunch of people, and then I was like, oh, I'll just join over here, and then I'll be able to tear them apart, and I'll be able to listen to them. And then the computer fucking glitched, and now I'm only here. Go faster.
Okay, so number 5. My number 5. These are the top 5 that I'm pretty sure that you have heard of. And my number 5 is going to be
Choppity chop. Screen its share.
There we go. And of course, Reacher.
That's a great choice. Great choice. Reacher's fucking amazing.
So loved it.
It's so much better than Tom Cruise.
So much better. So of course, Reacher is my number 5. Reacher season 2. My number 4 is one I'm pretty sure that you saw.
Okay.
And my number 4 is Fallout. Yes.
Oh, Fallout was amazing. This top 5
The
shaping up pretty
little-
good. Pretty good.
Plucky little vault dweller. Loved it. Favorite show.
I think
great.
I might have put Fallout at number 2. I guess we'll see what's at 2 and 3.
Oh, you'll be very surprised. So 3, I know you haven't seen, but 3 actually has the actress from Fallout, and it is Sweet Pea.
Underestimate me. Of course I didn't see Sweet Pea.
Serious bit of kit you got there.
I've got a scoop for
She
you.
murders people.
Yep.
And she writes about the murders.
She writes about the murders. It's like, this is the person
Genius.
Dexter would hunt. So if you haven't seen it, it's on Amazon. It's only 6 episodes. And it's a limited series. So, of course, now we're at my top 2. I know you would have never guessed this, but I had to put it at
Maybe
number
not.
2 and the second best show of the year. Oh, yeah.
Help build a world.
Yes, of course, you knew it had to be on here. X-Men 97, fucking cream of the crop, one of, if not the best animated shows of this year. X-Men 97.
Oh, what a fucking intro.
Oh, yeah, and one of the greatest intros of all time. And I will fight anyone for that. But, of course, you always knew what was going to be here. And
The Penguin!
I've done for you!
After everything I've done for you!
You murdered him!
You'll never love me again. Unless I get
You
this
come
done.
after me. Why? Why, PB? I don't understand it. This
That show
PB,
was
this
freaking
world.
amazing.
This world ain't built for guys like us. Folks,
I'm built for the honest man.
this world ain't built for the honest man, Vic. You got to take what's yours, Vic. But yeah, so of
I
course,
mean, of the ones that I've seen, it's a pretty decent list.
yes. So my
Can't really
list, it was
fault you.
very thought out.
That's sad.
Loved it. X-Men and Penguin neck and neck. And I'm not gonna lie to you. For a second, X-Men was close. X-Men was close, but Penguin had the best season final, I think, of any show this year. Hands down, without a question. There were so many pissed off people after that final. The internet was exploding. Like, how dare you? And people coping like, oh,
Cope.
Vic's not dead. He's not dead. He just took a nap. He really, the shot was Penguin left him, and you never saw the body. And I was like, he's pretty fucking dead. He choked the shit out of him.
I gotta go
Vic
back.
ain't
I gotta
going
go
back.
listen to a story, guy.
Okay, so anyways,
Almost as good as Penguin.
thank you very much. I'm glad to have you on for this extra.
Oh,
21
you are
minutes.
welcome for the bonus time. Even though
No,
I
this-
was the one that told you that we were streaming.
You fucking prick. So I wind up doing this whole list by myself.
Whatever. I got you to freaking do it. You're the one that needs to be doing this anyway.
But anyways,
I'm just motivating you.
Thank you everybody for watching, and thank you. And PB, is there maybe another stream you want to promote that I'm not aware of? Because
No, that stream is over. We were just talking in the green room.
Oh, okay. All right. So
Well, you gonna join us?
I mean,
Sure.
am I one of the cool kids? Okay.
Sure.
Oh no, I mean, it is up to you. Anyways,
send
thank
you
you
the link.
everybody
It's
for
fine.
watching. Please join me for this new year. There'll be plenty of movies, shows, televisions, and all of that. Thank you for moviepilot.com. I also have a re-up for them, and yeah, they want to support the channel for another year. So, thank you, Dave at moviepilot.com. We love you, Dave. Hopefully, if you watch this stream, or maybe Dave's like,
We love you too, Emu. It's movie pat or yeah. No. How the fuck? I'll figure it out.
But thank you everybody for watching, and as always, remember, for this new year, there is only one rule when watching your favorite television show: kneel before General Zod.
I'll let you have that one.